Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Let me know if the AV looks good. Hey Laura, do I sound okay? I'm looking down at my phone here too because I know with YouTube they chat. You need to be able to babysit the chat on a different device because it comes up and goes away so fast. Unless they fix that. Hey Aquafunk, thanks, appreciate you. I'm also curious because this is my first time doing a vertical live stream. I'm wondering if this is showing up in the shorts feed. I'll wait for everybody to come in as I got a lot to talk about. Hey Price Tag, how you doing, buddy? Sweet Aquafunk, appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in too, man. I know that you go live. I think it's 10, right? Or sorry, yeah, 10 o'clock, right? One thing I do like about the YouTube platform for going live is it records in 1080, so the video looks so much better than StreamYard. But StreamYard is one of my favorite apps to go live with, but you have to pay for that extra to have that 1080. Hey Peplin, good to see you. I had to real quick go around the fish room and top some tanks off because they were getting so loud. It would have been kind of not a very fun experience in here on this live stream, so I hurried up, went around and topped off like 4 tanks with water. Specifically my 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank back here. It gets really loud when the water evaporates because I have a spray bar hooked up to a Fluval 407 on that one. And with that spray bar just really putting that pressure down in that water, it gets really loud, so I had to top that off. Peplin, I wanted to go vertical because one, it's a new thing I wanted to try. Two, from what I understand, if you go live streaming vertically, it's the new rave, the new thing, because it comes up in people's shorts feed. So it has the potential to get a lot more views, bring a lot more people in. I also chose to do it because I do like to go live using YouTube's platform because it does record in 1080 without having to pay extra for it. Now you can do that without having to do vertical, obviously, but that's why I wanted to do vertical on this stream. I don't know what it looks like for you guys. I'm looking at myself on my phone here and it looks normal to me. Is the screen small? What's it look like for you guys? Hey Paul, glad you made it in, buddy. It's nice if you're watching on a phone, but everyone else looks like a short. Okay, I got you. Well, this isn't something I'm going to be doing all the time. This is just a trial thing. I'm still going to be doing StreamYard most of the time. I just wanted to try it out once, say I could try it out, get some experience with it, and get everybody's thoughts on it. Robert Reed, good to see you. I know you from Ben Ochart. Peplin, thank you. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I'm excited to talk about, obviously by the thumbnail. Um, about a little over a month ago, I hit 1,000 subscribers. And then I put out a few shorts that people loved and it blew up. Now, I've gained 9,000 subscribers since then. I think I'm actually at 10,100 or so with it. So it just keeps climbing. I never thought I'd get to 10,000, not my wildest dreams. So super excited about that. Appreciate the congratulations. Hey, there's Now I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm going to assume it's Talisa, or is it Talissa? And the only other problem with using when I go live using YouTube, um, oh yes, exactly, Funk. Thanks for backing me up on that too. Um, Going vertically brings in new people, but when new people come, they were bigger, better. Yeah, I got okay. Yeah, I guess you're saying, Funk. But what I was saying was when you're using the YouTube platform, the only way you can bring people up to go live with you is if you schedule that beforehand. That's the one thing. Another thing I don't like about it, along with the chat. The chat's not very good with the white YouTube platform. But so I'll mainly still be using StreamYard. This is just something I wanted to try out. Because with StreamYard, you can bring anybody up anytime. So, hey, Jim's Fish, good to see you. But like I was saying, Talisa, or Talissa, don't want to butcher her name, I was scrolling through my YouTube shorts one day, and I seen her, and I never seen her before. And she puts out great content. She's very knowledgeable, so I commented, and I started kind of talking with her a little bit, and as time went on, we were discussing a day or two ago, I want to bring her up on my live stream. Tuesdays are going to work better for her, so look forward to seeing Talisa or Talisa the Aquarius. You pronounced it right the first time. Okay, thank you. Talisa. Look forward to her coming up on my live stream. Hopefully, whenever she's available, but I'm hoping this Tuesday coming up, you're going to get to meet her. And I look through the comments on some of her videos, and I can see where other people that I know in the fish fam were commenting on her videos as well. But she's doing great. She has awesome content out there. If you're not familiar with Talisa, check her channel out, subscribe to her. She is coming up fast. I think when I first found her, she had like a few hundred subs, and now she might be at 1,000 already, because I looked yesterday and she's over 900. So she's doing real well. So check her out and look forward to her and I doing a collab together, hopefully this Tuesday coming up. Swiffle in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I deleted a message. Message deleted. I didn't delete a message. Absolutely, and I appreciate you coming in. And if she sticks around, I don't know how long she can stick around, but one of the subjects I want to talk about going to hit home for her because she likes natural tanks, much like Patty's Aquatics. They're right in line with the Father Fish style fish keeping style. I do have a couple of those tanks that I put together, some small tanks with the dirted sandcap tank, filterless, plant controlled, and she loves that definitely. Um, she's into that. So it'll be some good conversation because I too now have some experience in that and setting up my own. And so we should have some good conversation come Tuesday. So you don't want to miss Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tankin' Tuesday. I messed up last Tuesday due to work purposes. I apologize for that, but we're going to make sure we make it this Tuesday. Can we get a link? Laura's in here. Laura, do you mind sharing? Well, I should be able to do it myself, right? Yeah, here we go. And there's Talisa's link there. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in. I am blocking the tank. It's hard to see. That's my 75-gallon Mbuna tank behind me you see there. That tank there is naturally buffering. I naturally buffer the pH in that tank, and I do use cichlid lake salt doing water changes, and I never have issues with those fish. They're super colorful, very energetic. And they're just growing and having babies left and right. I'm actually going to have to move them to a 125 right here when it becomes available. But yeah, I can do this for you, but I can't. I got to figure out a way where I got to figure out how, and I think I seen Steamfod Aquatics do it, where he had a picture of him and his partner down in the bottom right-hand corner, and you could see I don't know how to do that. I'm definitely not going to be able to do it on YouTube, but think I can do that on StreamYard to get myself out of the way. But there you go. Sorry about that, Mai. And I hope I'm saying that right, Mai. Mai has 20-gallon glow lights and blue crays. They all get along. Very cool. You don't have no problem with those crayfish going after them? That's cool. I have some glowfish that I rescued a while back. I have in a 125-gallon community tank. Person in the neighborhood needed to get rid of them. They were moving. I took them, and I tell you what, they're doing great in there. And I apologize for looking down, but I have to look at my phone on this platform to really, be able to see the chat, because when you on the YouTube platform, the chat comes up and goes away really quick. Swiffle says use Restream. Okay, that's like something I can look into. I've always just used StreamYard. It's free, but does Restream record in 1080 free? Can you bring as many people up as you want on the panel? Things like that. Peplin subscribed to Talisa. Very cool. Craig made it in. Hello, buddy. Good to see you. Restream, you can always see chat. Well, you can always see the chat in StreamYard too. It's just, this is the YouTube platform, and it's different. I like YouTube because it does 1080 free. It looks really good. It's much easier because it's built into the YouTube, app, right? But StreamYard's just as good. It's just with StreamYard, you have to pay extra to have that 1080p. But and also on StreamYard, I can have my intro videos and things like that. But I check it out. I had 11K live views today. This angle was great. Oh, Craig, you did the vertical streaming and had good luck with that? I mean, you can't deny. You just can't deny how good 1080 makes you look. I mean, look at me. Look at his face. I did shave and fix myself up for the stream a little bit, but I mean, this camera has got me looking so good. Yes. Red. What do you mean red, Craigs? Laser, thanks for coming in. Greetings to you, sir. Well, we're getting some people rolling in now, so what I'd like to do is go ahead and as people come in, I'll definitely welcome you and say hello. Laura is a fantastic moderator. She's on top of everything. There's Patty's Aquatics coming in. Patty, I know, is one of the videos to Lisa that's in here. You should know her, Patty. She comments on your videos and watches your content. If you are not subscribed to Patty, to Lisa, check her out. She's right in line with what you do, and she's awesome. She puts out great content. Congrats on the 10K. Can't stay. My daughter has a soccer this morning, and I appreciate you coming in, buddy. Life first, definitely. Patty put out an awesome video that I watched a day or so ago. I didn't get a chance to watch it till this morning, and what an awesome update on his fish room. Okay, cool. He's already subbed. And it sucks you have to leave, Patty, because my topic on today's stream is dirted tanks versus fertilizers. Which one treats plants better? Anybody that's set up dirted sand-capped tanks knows that all the knows all the perks of having a tank like that, a natural tank where it's plant controlled and it runs itself. You rarely have problems. I've got 2 of them going now. The first one's a 10-gallon setup, and you just cannot beat how well those plants look. I don't dose that tank with anything. The organic soil does all the work. I have no algae issues in that aquarium. The nitrates never go above 5 ppm. It is not filtered, and it just looks amazing. I've never had such green, lush plants. And all my other tanks, the plants look good, but I have to dose liquid fertilizers to keep them going. And I have tried aquarium co-ops, Easy Green. And after talking with KJE Aquatics, he got me onto Thrive. And I have found that Thrive works, and he was right in what he said. It works a lot better than, I'm not going to say a lot better, but it definitely has more oomph than Easy Green does. I have seen a major difference. A major difference in my plants since I switched over. But in order to keep those plants going, and it depends on the species and the different types of plants you're keeping, but the fish waste and the ammonia that they produce and the waste they produce wasn't enough to keep some of them going, and the Thrive really picked that slack up. But the point is, with these dirted sand cap tanks, you don't have to do that, and they look better than any of these other tanks. In that dirted setup tank, I have Crips, Jungle Vow, Amazon Swords. I have Water Sprite. Now, I like to exclude Water Sprite because Water Sprite, I'm pretty sure, would grow in gasoline. Don't have a problem growing that stuff. But the tank is literally busting out. The plants are literally busting out of that tank, and it just keeps on going strong. They're cramped in there, and they still stay green, lush, and they're doing great. And they keep. I don't have to ever do any maintenance on that tank. The nitrates stay low. I just top it off every once in a while, and it's beautiful. So my question is, everybody coming in, trying to keep an open mind on both different ways of keeping fish. What is your thoughts on this? Would you rather have a normal setup in your aquarium where you're not using the dirted sand cap plant controlled method? Or would you like to use the latter? Do you want to have to dose fertilizers? Do you not want to? If it was your choice, which way would you do it? Do you have experience with both ways? Because in my experience, what I'm seeing is if you really want to grow some plants, the dirted, I mean, you're basically like making a garden when you set these tanks up that way. They're getting all the nutrients they need from the dirt underneath the sand, and when you seal that with the sand, it's locking in and keeping all those nutrients, the macros, the micros, all these things the plants need is being sealed and locked in there. So it lasts a lot longer. I think I watched a video Father Fish put out one time, and he was talking about, how people love all these different, like aqua soils, like fluvial stratum that you can put down. He was saying the problem with those is a lot of them are made synthetically, and once you put them down, they only last a couple of months, maybe 3 months, and they're exhausted, they're done. And he said if you sand cap that, it'll even help those nutrients that come in that substrate last a little bit longer. So you can see a pattern. If we're sealing this soil off, this topsoil, and keeping our dirted tanks, it's going to last longer, and your plants are going to just thrive, and they're doing much better than any of my other ways. Because most of my aquariums, I'm water changing. I got canister filters. And it's just sand substrate. So I only have 2 with the other way. So let me know your thoughts on this. What are your guys' thoughts? How do you like it? Have you tried it? Do you have any going? I know Talisa and Patty does. Let me get caught up in chat here. The layout is fine. You'll be thankful. You'll all be thankful for a channel. Let's see. Yep. Thank you, I appreciate your input on that. It's okay if on the phone, but a computer. Yeah, I got what you're saying, Swiftwell. Yeah. Patty says I'm subbed to her great channel. We read that one. MS is in. Good to see you. Only feed a little and watch them eat first. Yeah, definitely, Maya. That's something I preach on my channel all the time. Never overfeed your fish. That is a common problem that not only creates a problem in your fish, but in your aquarium too. So that's good advice that she's putting out there. Keith knows his stuff. Yeah, Craig, definitely. At first, I'll be honest. I'm a very translucent type of person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I say what comes to my mind. I have a filter, but it's dirty and it needs cleaned. When I first met Keith and my interactions with him, he was a salesman. All he's trying to do is push product and sell, sell, sell. And I get that too. We're trying to make money. That's what we're doing. That's the point of it. So I don't fault him for that. But a lot of people get turned off by salesmen. But as time went on, and I got to know Keith over at KJE Aquatics, the stuff he's saying is not just to sell his product. He'll even promote other people's stuff. And the last two things I discussed with him and talked to him about ended up being true. So I've learned to really respect his experience and take what he says as true in a non-salesman type of way. So he's a good guy, runs a good business. I love the way his website's laid out and everything. Hey Ross, thanks for coming in, buddy. Good to see you. Fish poop only. Yep, fish poop's a great fertilizer. Talisa put a video out about that. No farts, just farts. That's pretty good, Ross. You need bottom feeders. It helps. I do have some bottom feeders. I've got, I've had the Cory Cats. I got one Cory Cat left, but I've got Bristlenose Pleco. I've got a Dojo Golden, big, awesome Golden Dojo left. Picked catfish. And I did have some auto sinkless. I'm down to one of those. My chat keeps going to top message. Probably missing half the chat. How do I fix that, Laura? Can we set that to... I think most people keep that at top message, don't they? Float plants until roots come down and then bury. Yep. That's exactly what happens with my water spray. I've often wondered, do the nutrients get depleted in the dirt and need replacing? Robert Reed, I've wondered that too. And, that's just common sense when I started thinking about it and asking myself that same question. Everything has a shelf life. Nothing lasts forever. And the same is going to be said for that dirt. Once you seal it, obviously those nutrients are going to last longer, but it's still going to deplete sooner or later. I think what might help keep it going is a lot of people that have these natural tanks, they don't worry about taking malm out. They don't worry about sucking every ugly thing in the tank out, which eventually breaks down and essentially becomes more dirt. So I think if you leave it alone and you take that more natural method, I think the dirt will kind of regenerate itself over time. But is that enough to keep it going for long term? I don't know. That's going to be a question for Father Fish. That's going to be a question for guys like Patty's Aquatics. Maybe Talisa even knows. I haven't been doing that fish keeping method long enough to know. But this is another thing that this is what it's great. It goes hand in hand with my live stream, to have these discussions, to learn together. Yes, I love floating plants. Oh, good, Laura. I know you do well. It's to keep your fish healthy. Absolutely. Nice fish need fish food. Yes. I feed my fish every other day, and it's high quality foods, and I never have problems with disease and bloating and lethargy or anything like that, or problems in my aquarium. Now, I can't say that because I do have problems with algae, but I think that's mostly because I'm leaving my lights on too long. I think that's where my algae problems come from. But I do have cyanobacteria in my 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank. I've got rid of, and it keeps coming back, because with cyanobacteria, that's something you really have to get to the root of and take care of, or it's going to keep coming back. I've dosed erythromycin and killed it all, and it went away for a good while. Now it's back again. Is that due to overfeeding my fish? No, because like I said, I only feed every 2 days. It could be that I went from doing water changes every week to every 2 weeks, and now I only have to do it once a month. Doing it once a month is nice because my nitrates stay low enough to allow for it. Number two, it's less stress on the fish. You're not in there with your hands in there all the time messing with them. Number three, it's easier on the water bill and your time. And I don't have any issues with my fish. Your fish are going to let you know if there's something wrong with your water. Whether they're over at the glass and they're pacing up and down, or they're laying around and they're not doing nothing. And I also test my water weekly. So I know what my water's doing. I even do my TDS checks, phosphates. I know what my water's doing, and it's fine even at doing monthly water changes. I don't clean my canister filters but every 6 to 7 months. But on the other spectrum of that, that could also be the reason why I'm having some algae problems in one couple of these tanks. It could also be the reason why I'm having cyanobacteria in this tank back here. Plecos are decent fertilizers. I've got 2 Snow King plecos, and we all know that anyone's been in this hobby long enough, plecos, I don't think there's anything that poops more than a pleco. MS has plenty of floaters. They always cover the water's surface. Laura says it's on my end as far as I know. Sometimes it changes back to the top. Okay. Talisa says once the dirt loses its nutrients, the sand holds enough nutrients. I'm not an expert on the subject, but I would say no, it doesn't need replaced. Okay. Certainly appreciate that input on that. Thanks for liking the live, Ross. Heading to the car. I will be listening. Okay, later. So, we've talked about hitting that 10K sub milestone, which is fantastic. Never thought I'd be there. I can't thank everybody who subbed to me and supports me. You know, because if it weren't for you guys, this wouldn't happen. So many thanks for the support and helping me get there. It's very hard to support everybody that does this, you know, and I see everybody, every live stream that I go to, every video that I comment, I see all you guys on there too, and we're all doing the same to help each other out. So it takes a special person to do that. It takes a special community to do that. So I can't thank you guys enough for helping me get here. So yes, 10,000 subs. Whew. I am less than 1,000 watch hours away from getting monetized. I can't wait for that. I'm hoping that this vertical live stream will help with that as well. Because my idea is once this channel gets big enough and maybe I start getting some revenue and maybe vendors want to talk with me and maybe send me some stuff that I might not particularly need, I like to do giveaways every few live streams. But when I do those giveaways, I want those giveaways to be something of value, something nice, not like a little free sample pack of food. I want to give something back to you guys of value. Filters, canister filters, medicines, or medication. Things that cost a lot of money is what I want to give back to you guys. And that's my plan. So the bigger this channel gets, the better the gifts are going to get to give back to you guys. So like this, share this out, help me as much as you can to get this out there. 10K party, Laura's got it. So the other subject was the vertical live stream, and of course the continued subject we're going to be talking about going forward the rest of this live stream is the subject, the topic of this live stream, dirted tanks versus using fertilizers. So I need everybody's input here. How many that's in here right now has done or does now a dirted sand cap plant controlled tank? I know Talisa does it. I know Patty's Aquatics does it. But I don't know much about any of you other guys. Do you guys try it? Man, I need to get a fan set up. I'm hot. So that's all of Jim's fish's tanks. That's the only way he does it. Jim, can I ask you, how long have you been keeping fish this way? Jesse, you should watch Supreme Gecko. Huge reptile and supply giveaways. You have time to prep. You should watch Supreme Gecko and hashtag huge reptile and supplies giveaway. You have time. I'll check that out, Laura, and see what you're talking about. MS only uses aqua soil since starting the hobby. Okay. Talisa is all the dirted tanks. And my And I don't know if you've seen that. I hope I'm saying that right. Hardly cleans his or hers tank. And let's be honest, Jim's fish is still new to everything. Okay, okay, Jim, that's fine. Well, you're in the right place because you're in a live stream with people that have been doing it a long time. Maya uses gravel cleaners. Okay. Now, do you use sand substrate, Maya, or do you use gravel? June, only Oscars comes in with, how do you know if a fish is happy? A fish is only happy if it's kept by only Oscars. Now, you say you use sand and gravel, Mine, but do you literally mix the two, or is one tank sand and one tank gravel? Good answer. That is a funny question though, but that is a question I've seen that comes up. How do you know if your fish is happy? Well, they'll tell you. Just look at them. They're just like, picture yourself. They're just like people. If they're swimming around, they're active, they're colorful, they have good appetites, they're energetic. They're not sitting on the bottom of the substrate. They're not lethargic. They're not lazy. They're not pacing up and down the glass. You know they're happy. And you also know that your water quality is good. You don't necessarily need to test your water if your fish are acting like that. I keep sand on one side, gravel on the other, the same in a 20 gallon. That'd be cool. And I've seen people do it that way, Maya. I think Ben Ochart has some setups like that, but I think I've seen some other videos where people have this setup, and it really is cool. That's leading into your aquascaping style, doing it for looks, trying to recreate that nice biotope, or trying to recreate that nice natural look. And some of them do look really nice. Me, all my tanks are sand. I used to keep gravel, but I went away from gravel because of one reason, for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is the maintenance. When you have a tank, especially a big one, and it's all gravel, you are now having to actually do gravel vacs, where you're hooking up your python and you're sticking that down in there, and you have to get every inch of the gravel to get all that crap out, right? With sand, it all lays on top. I pop that hose and just use the tube of my python and just go right above the sand, and it sucks everything up out of there. You're done in minutes. With gravel, it takes much longer to do one tank. So when you're using sand, maintenance is much easier. And it is proven that sand is a better substrate for harboring beneficial bacteria, as it is more porous. Plants do grow in a bare bottom tank. Yes, there are plants that can grow in a bare bottom tank. Yeah, it gets tough, my. Hey, Big Steve, good to see you. Yeah, sand is better in my opinion. I like it a lot. Now, when we're talking about sand, um, I had went to the PetSmart and I had bought the Sea Carib sand for this 125 gallon Oscar tank, and I think it was like $185 to get enough sand to fill that tank up. That sand is also very light. It floats in the water column a lot easier, clogging your filters more. So now you're putting pre-filters on your filter inlets to reduce that. Especially when you have fish like Oscars, and June knows, they love to play in the sand and dig it up. They do it all the time. I went from that sand not only because of, and I went over to black diamond sandblasting sand and pool filter sand because it's much cheaper and it's heavier. It doesn't float up in the water column like the sands you get from your box chain stores like Sea Carib and those type of sands. And I don't have to even use pre-filters in any of my other tanks with fish that interact with sand, such as these Mbunas back here. You can see all the caves and valleys and holes they've dug. Because I have the black diamond sandblasted sand and pool filter sand, it doesn't plume up. It doesn't get into the filter, so you don't have to worry about it as much. So every time I set a tank up, I scoop some sand out of my 125-gallon Oscar tank, like I like I did when I was setting these dirted tanks up, and that's what I cap the dirt with. One, I'm trying to get rid of that sand. Two, all that good bacteria that has built up insta cycles these tanks. So it's a win-win. And once I get rid of all that sand in that tank, I'll refill it probably with pool filter sand. I love the black diamond sandblasting sand too. It has that nice black look, but I like the pool filter sand because you get a little bit more of that natural look. Oops. Went out on my own live stream by accident. So yes, sand has become my favorite way. I got rid of my last gravel tank, I don't know, so many months ago, and I'll never go back to gravel. Now, there is another sand that you can get. It's called all-purpose sand, and you can get it from Tractor Supply. I equate that sand to play sand that you can get at like Lowe's. But the difference is, it's just as cheap, and it has little pieces of larger gravel in it, so you're kind of getting that natural look with the sand and pebbles and a little bit larger pebbles in there. And now keep in mind, it is dirty, but it's not near as dirty as play sand. You have to wash it good 2 or 3 times, and then the water runs clear. The play sand, you could be out there half a day trying to get that stuff clean, and you're still going to be working at it. So the all-purpose sand from Tractor Supply is another good one if you're looking for that sand, a little bit of pebble gravel mix that's cheap and quick to clean. So who else in here likes to keep the dirted sand cap tanks? We know Jim's Fish is one, Talise is one. Hey Skipper, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Skipper is another guy. Dang it, I went on my live again. Skipper is another fish keeper that you see him around the YouTube community a lot. He does live streams, very involved in the community, and has a lot of good content out there. So if you don't know Skipper's Aquarium, definitely check him out as well. I got something from Sutherland's, and it was supposed to be pea gravel, but it was more of the half sand, half gravel. Okay, so it must be something. Was it labeled like an all-purpose sand, Laura? And again, I apologize, I have to keep looking down. It's the only way I have enough time to read chat, because on the display in front of me on my iPad, it comes up and disappears quickly. So I hate when I'm not looking at you guys, but unless I can get, I gotta get something to hold my phone up here, but you'll see me doing this. And I never heard of Sutherland's. I don't know what that is. I don't know where you live. I'm assuming that's probably something similar to our Tractor Supply. Man, the 1080p really looks nice, though. Hey, Mai, are you still in here? Fish Hippie, good to see you, buddy. Most of my tanks are dirt, somewhere between Father Fish and Wallstead method. Okay, very cool. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I have to feed my fish. Today's feeding day. I will go ahead and feed these umbunas behind me if you'd like. What I feed my umbunas is I like to, because they're mostly herbivores, I have a mix of Northfin's veggie pellets and New Life Spectrum's algae max pellets. I mix them together. 2 high quality foods, 2 different types of nutritions they're getting all at once. But I also like to throw in periodically Northfin's Bug Pro, Krill Pro, their cichlid mix, and there's another mix in there all in one. I feed that to them periodically. We're going to talk about fish food and proteins, because I know Malawi bloat is a big thing. You don't want to give your Malawi is too much protein, but you can if you're giving them the right kind of protein. We'll talk about it. Alshin, my tanks are for breeding fish mostly. I I I go have sand, crushed coral, and gravel substrates, no dirt. Thank you for sharing that. And but yeah, and you breeding fish, that's a whole different animal in certain aspects. I don't breed fish. I keep fish for the hobby. Excuse me. So I know that when you're breeding fish, you got to have those parameters and those just right for certain fish. So I got lucky. I do, like I said, with my Mbunas behind me, I do naturally buffer the pH, and I do add cichlid lake salt in the aquarium during water changes, and they're just, and they probably do this without it, but they're busting babies out left and right. I got lucky. What I would like to breed is my tiger barbs, and I was talking to Ross about this, and he told me to get some of them mops and stick in there. He goes, they're probably having, because there's, I don't know, I probably got 20 of them in there at this point. And he said they probably have tried to breed already. The eggs just got eaten, so he said try throwing them mops in. Excuse me. A second, I get a cough drop here. Just supposed to be pea gravel. I'll look at the brand. So other than like Lowe's or Menards, we have Tractor Supply 2 in Missouri. My feeds a little bit every day. Like I said, you have to watch them eat it first, right? When you breed fish, you need multiple tanks or separators. Hey Dagmar, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I met Dagmar through Mayhem. We help support each other. God. You don't rinse the dirt substrate. Oh yeah, June. Yeah, I was talking about rinsing the sand, not the dirt. My crayfish are funny. They climb up plants and wait to try and grab fish. Do they ever get the fish? Selena, good to see you. All right, I'm gonna feed these Mbunas for you guys real quick. Should we give them the vegetables, or here? Let me show you my two mixes. So their main thing is the Northfin Veggie Pellets and the New Life Spectrum Algae Max Pellets. And I also like to give them this mix, which is Extreme Nice, Extreme Cichlid Peewee, Krill Pro, Bug Pro, and Northfin Cichlid Pellets are also in here. I just didn't have room to label that. Now they had this 2 days ago. Which one are we giving them today? You tell me and we'll throw it in. Oh man. Hey Gabriel, good to see you. For breeding in outside tubs, I use smooth river rock substrate. I have some of them large river rocks in my South American cichlid tank. Eggs from tetras, barbs, or tetras will fall in the crevices, okay? Yeah, other than plants, there's really nothing in there that the eggs can go into, so I'm thinking I need to put some, my wife's got all kinds of that stuff. I could probably put mops in there. No, I have red barbs, glow lights, and more. They too fast. My says feed the extreme. MS says let's go with veggie. Selena, I can't even say that. I can't even say that. So we got one vote for the extreme Northwind mix, and 1 vote for the veggie mix. Let's do this. June says veggie. That's 2 for veggie. Oh, 3 for veggie. It's a flatworm living on my glass of a shrimp tank. I don't like them, but they're harmless. Crazy, Selena. You were talking about having another worm issue my last live stream. Can't remember what that was. Jesse, I think you can create a poll during a live, yes? That's a good idea. But I don't know how to do it. Let me see. What's this button do? I'm going to click that. How do you do that? I want to try that. I don't know how to do it. Something about worms brings the killer in me. How do you create a poll? During a live stream. Gabriel, why not both? The neutralizer. Well, we'll just do both. June, maybe she can teach me how to do a poll during a live, or I'll figure it out later. Let's put a little bit in and watch them eat. This is fun. They're like freaking piranhas. We'll go with the veggie first. Keep in mind, I do have to put some fry food in there because I got babies. I also have Extreme Nano, which works, but the fry food's even smaller. It's like a powder form. Now this mix right here will make you Superman. As you can see with this tank here, I put in quite a bit of food, both those handfuls, right? Because there's so many mbunas in this tank, and they're such voracious eaters. I never have issues because they eat it all. And here's the Extreme Nano. Very small pellets. I think they're a 1/2 millimeter pellet, great for small fish. I like to make sure everybody gets something. Throw a little bit more veggie pellets in. Hey, Tommy made it in. On YT, you can create a poll. I just don't know how. I see they're hungry when they come to the top. You've been keeping fish long enough, you know that fish, no matter what, always come to the top in the front of the glass. They always want to eat. Don't let them fool you. Thank you, Maya. Yep. I do my best. I mean, like anybody, I've lost fish and had issues. I've gained a lot of experience on how to fix sick fish. I learned a lot of new tips and tricks to do so during that time. Dagmar's never made a pole while being live. There's a lot of fish in there. Makes my 5 angels look like I got plenty of room. There is a lot. I started with 10, Selena. 10 mbunas. And since then, I lost count. I even sold 15 to my local fish store to thin the herd out. But I'll never do that again because I got like $7.50 for 15 mbunas, and all of them were no smaller than that, some bigger. I'll never do that again. Thanks, Talisa. Selena uses Extreme Flakes. I have a mix of Extreme Aquatics Community Crave, which consists of their spirulina flake and their krill flake, but then I also get their SoFly flake, mix those together. So I got that. If I'm using flake food, that's the only flake food I use. I mix those three. It's a fantastic brew. Yep. I actually threw the third one in, the Nano. Thank you, Mai. Tommy, good to see you, buddy. So Tommy, Silver Creek Aquatics there, Silver Creek Wildlife, he's kind of like my go-to guy for a lot of things. A lot of experience with natural DIY things. He's a homesteader. If you want to subscribe to a good channel that's got a lot of great information that can save you a lot of money but get you results, he's the guy to go to. He's the guy I like to go to when I'm talking about plants. But he's a guy I also like to go to when we're talking about YouTube. I said to him, what's the deal with this vertical live stream? I'm seeing a lot, everyone's going crazy over it. I don't understand what the attraction is, because like, I can't remember who it was in here said earlier, I think it was Swiffle. You're on a small screen, which if you're okay if you're watching it on a phone, but if you're watching this from a laptop or an iPad and you've got it turned sideways, you're on this small screen. Why would anybody want to watch that? And he explained to me all the perks of streaming vertically, and I wanted to definitely try it out. Plus, like I said, I do love 1080p on YouTube's platform that's free. We're starting the Fallout series on my glue. I played that game. I think I first tried that game out on PlayStation, Tommy, like 2000s or something. I don't play a lot of video games anymore. Go to YouTube. On the chat bar, there's a plus sign. Click it. I don't see a plus sign, June. I'm trying it on my phone and my iPad. 10K, Big Steve, 10K. Ever played the game? Saw a series on Prime. What about your Jungle Vow, Selena? I have lots of Jungle Vow. And it's neat because I bought my first Jungle Vow from Silver Creek, Tommy there. And since it's grown, I've been able to take pieces of it off and put it in other tanks. So now I got a Jungle Vow farm going, which I'm happy about because Jungle Vow is my favorite plant. I'm no time for games. The only thing I don't like with the vertical live stream is the people watching on the phones can't click the links that are dropped. Really? June says she did it on her iPad. Oh, I'm streaming from an iPad. I'm reading chat from my phone. I don't see how. I don't see a plus sign. What I see for chat on my iPad, June, is in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a little message, like message cloud. That's all I see. And on the right-hand side is the three dots if you want to share it. Apparently, CO2 booster killed my vow. See, I don't use CO2, Selena. I just do it naturally. I let the fish do it, and I do dose Thrive. And the plants are doing great, but mostly the fish do it. I only dose Thrive once a week. Now, I will say this. I do dose in all my aquariums uh, Vitachem, Boyd's Vitachem, multivitamin for fish. But what's nice about Vitachem is it also provides vitamins for plants. Tommy's sharing out only Oscar's channel. Yeah, I don't see how to create polls. And on the side, I got some options, but I think this is microphone filter. Let's see. Got to get more caffeine. BRB. Cool, Laura. That's just changing. That's nothing. So I don't know. Tommy says the link works. Cool. Yeah, Dagmar, I'm not sure what you mean there, buddy. Laura's got to get more coffee. She'll be right back. There's Dixon coming in. Good morning. Good to see you. So, Tommy's another one good to have in this conversation. The dirted natural sand cap plant controlled tank versus regular tanks and dosing liquid ferts. I already know what Tommy's going to do. Tommy hates using products. He does not like using liquid fertilizers and dechlorinators, so you know his method, and that's going to be the natural tank. Mountaintop Fish, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Dagmar says there's now a link in the chat, but I can't click it from my phone for some reason. I don't know why. Well, let me try. Yeah, Tommy, I can't click it either. Not on my phone. I do got you pegged, Tommy. Skipper is hosting an auction on his channel tonight. Okay, very cool. Thanks for sharing that. Let me see. Let's pin that. Where does that come up? Right there. Yeah, Tommy, the link isn't coming up blue. It's just coming up white. It has to be blue. It has to be a hyperlink in order to go somewhere with it. I'm not only seeing it to be white. Oh, I hate when I do that. All right, Tommy. Now, if you guys want to, I wish I could figure out how to create a poll. I'll be back. I'll be back as my first time getting into live YouTube. Okay, Mike, very cool. You do what you got to do. I'm going to be here for a little while. Appreciate you coming in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Same here. Okay, yes. Why won't you party with me, man? Why won't you party with me? We're partying in here now. So, oh, maybe I can do it here. Boom. That's creating a post. June, are you still in here? Are you talking about the plus sign on the phone underneath the chat bar? You hit plus. I see post, live, video, short, poll. Which one's poll? If I do that, if I do that, will it go into the live stream or will it go to the regular community post? All right, so Lisa, thanks for coming in. You do what you got to do. Let me know on Tuesday. Appreciate you. Because I think you probably already talked about it, but why is the layout different? Are you live, different platform? I've noticed some. Yeah, Big Steve. Yeah, we talked about it. So this is YouTube's new way of streaming vertical on your mobile device. You can do an iPad or a phone. By streaming vertically, you what that does is it puts it out into YouTube Shorts. So it's not just limited to the people that come into your regular live streams like I normally do. This is out in YouTube Shorts, so people will come across it and they can come in and say hello and hang out, get you out there to more people. So this is the first time I'm trying it. It's something I definitely wanted to try and get experience with, see how it goes. Also, I like YouTube's platform, and you have to do it from YouTube's platform. But what I like about it is YouTube lets you record in 1080p and it's free, whereas if you use StreamYard, you have to pay for that to get the 1080. So there's some perks to it. There's pros and cons like anything, but I wanted to try it out. But that's why I'm doing vertical. But it looks fantastic on the phone because let's face it, when most people are on social media, they're on their phones scrolling through, right? So this is going to get a lot more visibility. Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, it was normal first. Now I came back and and it's the true vertical. Yeah, it's less chat involved this way, but brings in much broader audience. Yeah, and Tommy is the one I was talking to about it. Like I go to him with a lot of questions. He helps me a lot. On YouTube, your live stream at the chat bar. So I'm looking down at my phone, and there's a plus, like, you can hit that plus screen anytime you want to upload a video or upload a short. Is that the plus sign you're talking about? I can hit that, but it's below the chat bar, where it says home, shorts, plus bar, subscriptions, and then your little avatar for your channel. Is that the plus bar you're talking about? Yeah, it is much better looking, Tommy. The 1080p's look like. Well, this stream too, I got both my lights kicking. Usually I have one when I'm on StreamYard. I hooked up both my lights, and I think it really helps. Being able to see really dry. Poor lighting will turn people off. Well, when I hit the plus, all I see, June, is post, live, short video, right? On the post, you have an option of a square with a checkbox in it where you can have answer one, answer two. That's creating a post, though. It doesn't say poll. And then you can add an image, and then over here is, oh wait, here's a poll. Add poll options. Text. And if I post that, like I created one, will it go into my live or is that just going to go to my community tab? That's my question. Your good looks and getting me hot and bothered now. I didn't know you looked that dang good, bro. Stop it. You're making me blush. Click it. Okay. But is it going to come up in this live stream or is it going to go into the community tab? That's the only thing I'm asking about. Not on the community tab. Okay, so I'm going to hit the plus sign. I pressed that button. I've hit on the far left, add poll option. but it's under create post. Or screw it, we'll just try it. Text. Fish room. If the stream stops, we know it went wrong. Live stream. Post. I posted it, but I'm pretty sure it went to the community tab. But just in case it went to the community tab, I worded it in a way it doesn't look dumb. So obviously the poll didn't come up, so that didn't work. June, can you drive over here from California and do this for me? For God's sakes. Maybe I gotta do it on my iPad, but I'm not seeing many options on my iPad. I got a chat, a bar, the three dots to share. How do you do it from your iPad? I don't have a chat bar. I don't have a chat bar on what I'm going live with. Yes, I'm looking at my iPad. That's what I'm doing live with. But when I look at my live, there's no chat bar. I have a chat like thing. Let's hit live chat. Okay, live chat's up on here now, but I still don't have like a bar. No, I'm on my iPad because I wanted to do vertical streaming this time. Boom. There's top chat. I can hit live chat, and I can scroll through live chat. Back to top chat. It is like the bringing people on needs to be pre-scheduled. Yeah, that's one thing that I don't like about the YouTube platform. If you want to have someone come up with you, you have to toggle the switch to go live together. iPad has the option of mobile or desktop. Well, I'm on my iPad and it's vertical right now. I don't have a chat bar that I see. Kara C coming in saying not staying long, but wanted to say hi. Congratulations to NK. Hope everyone has a great day. Appreciate you coming in and saying hello, Kara. Very nice of you. Okay, Skipper. Yeah, you know, I appreciate you coming in and saying hello, Skipper. If you're busy, you gotta go do it, buddy. It is what it is. How do you go to desktop mode? Just turn it horizontally? But if I do that, won't that ruin my vertical live stream? I don't know. I'll do research and figure it out. I set the poll up, but it's in the community tab. So make sure you go to the community tab and vote. Oh man, look who made it in, Janice. Janice, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. That's early for you, isn't it? Thanks for coming in, appreciate it. Happy 420. It's 420, huh? No, the top bar above the YouTube bar, you can change the mode. Well, now you're just confusing me. Let me. I, the top bar above the YouTube bar. Okay, Selena, see ya. Have a good day. Thanks for coming in. She got 5 hours of sleep. She's good. Machine. I don't know, June. I guess I'll just have to figure that out later. I'm fine doing this. So, do you guys want me to walk you around and show you all the tanks and feed all the fish? I have my iPad on a portable tripod, so if you want to do it, just let me know. I can walk you around and we'll go around and feed all the tanks. Dixon's, yeah. Yes, feed the fish. That's what I was going to make a poll with, but we can do it. We'll feed the fishies. Price tag, you leaving too, buddy? Alright, we'll walk around all the tanks and throw some food in there. I should be able to just turn most of the time on this table. But this table's in the center of all the tanks, so I should be able to just do like a turret thing and turn it around. Laura, if you can give me a stop sign there, that'd be great. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn you a little bit to the Tiger Barb tank. We're going to go and give them my mix of Extreme Community Crave and SoFly. So, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's Spirulina Flake, Krill Flake, and the Black Soldier Fly. That's what the Extreme SoFly Flake is. It's Black Soldier Fly larvae. So I got all those in one mix. Don't make fun of this tank, it's a little dirty. Kind of got some reflection here. I might be able to turn this off and fix that. There, that looks better. A little better. Hard to see them, but you can see them. Happy birthday, price tag. So that's my Tiger Barb tank. Got some reds and greens in there, and a lot of the regular ones. See ya, Kara. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn you over to, well, there's a tank down below. This is that 10-gallon right down there. That is my dirted tank I was telling you about with the sand cap. The camera on this thing is appears to be a little grainy. But I'm going to turn you a little bit more. This is a dirted 20-gallon long, and down here is a 20-gallon long. This has cherry shrimp in it, and a male beta, mustard gas. And up here, there is a guppy, a long findanio, and some ember tetras in here. We'll go ahead and feed these guys a little bit. Tommy, during the summer months, I am able to take all my heaters out of my aquariums, and my house regulates by ambient. I was hoping that same was going to run true in the winter months, but unfortunately, some of these tanks got way too cold for some of these tropical fish, like 70 degrees, which I'm sure it still would have been fine to leave the heaters out at 70 degrees. They're going to be fine. But I did go ahead and add the heaters in my tiger barb tank, my Mbuna tank, and then with the angelfish to regulate the water a little warmer. But now that we're coming into the summer months, I can go ahead and pull those heaters back out. And in the summertime, all my tanks stay around 78 degrees. Very little feeding in this tank because very small fish, and I got to crush them up real small. But I also have that fry food that I use for really small fish. Down here, obviously, I got to get some beta food. My beta mix consists of North Finn's beta nano pellets, and I have that I got at Walmart and I did a video on. You have the Finsect beta food. Very cheap but high quality ingredients. If you don't know about Finsect, Flukers makes it, and it's a new line of fish food that they started for themselves about a little over a year ago. You can't beat the price for the high quality ingredients you get, and you can get it very, very easily at your local Walmart. He's always over here waiting for me. As you can see down here, this has a little bit of tannins in it. I have a piece of Mapani driftwood in there that keeps leaching tannins in, which is ideal for a beta. So that's why that tank looks like that. And I will unplug this so I can take you with me. There he is there. Hard to see. This camera is not very good. And boy, the beta loves the water sprite. That's that long findanio running around. Ember tetras in here, and there's a guppy. Over here is one guppy. What do you say we feed some goldfish? Now, it's always important to vary your fish's diet and use different foods, and I do that. Today we're going to use the extreme goldfish pellets. What I like about these pellets is they're semi-sinking. Most of them sink fast, so basically 1 out of every 6 to 7 pellets are going to sink slow. It's important to feed goldfish sinking pellets and never flakes, because if they have to go to the surface and gulp air, you're running the risk of giving them bloat because they're sucking in too much air. So if you have goldfish, especially fancy goldfish, very important to get sinking pellets. Of course, I got that crazy golden dojo loach up there. And what I found out about the golden dojo loach, He likes this food more than anything else, like little bottom feeder pellets and wafers. He loves what you feed the fish. So I'll let you check them out a little bit. And you can see how those pellets do just slowly and semi-float. And there are some narrowite snails in this tank too. Let's take you over to the 29-gallon tank. In this tank I got pepper platies, I've got sunburst wagtail platies, neon tetras, zebra danio. There's one ember tetra in here. Let's check it out. I put a little bit too much food in there. But that's all right. I'm coming up on water change day. Oh yeah, there's also raspberries in here. There's a guppy. There's some rose lines. And there is a bristlenose pleco in here as well. This is a piece of driftwood that has got different kinds of algae on it, such as blackbeard and green algae, and it's created this really cool looking natural cave. And that's where he hangs out. That's his spot. You know, if you can see that good. But these platies are beautiful. And Silver Tommy, these excuse me, these are your crypts that I got up you. This one here, this one over here. But you can see they're just laden with algae. I gotta clean it out again. Excuse me. Let's check out the 125-gallon community tank. In here, there's all kinds of different fish. That one spotlight's going to give you a glare. I apologize. I'll try to get you back best I can. But as you can see, I got two blood parrots in here. There's 7 or 8 different angelfish. There's a big snow king pleco in here. There's the glowfish I was telling you about, Maya, that I rescued. Black skirt tetra going right there. There's another black skirt tetra in here as well. I got pictus catfish. There's one in Buna in here. I had to bring them over from the other tank, from the 75-gallon Buna tank like a year ago, that got bullied and they took all of his fins off. But I was able to heal him, get his fins to grow back and everything, and I put him in here since then. He gets along with everybody and he is absolutely happy now. So I leave him being here because he's a pretty cool chill Mbuna. That dang reflection of that light. You see that big pleco going right there? He is coming up. He's a big boy. So let's go ahead and feed this tank. This 125-gallon tank, by the way, is an older tank. I got a really good price on off the Facebook market site. An old guy, an old Army veteran, that catfished for 40 years, died, and his wife wanted rid of the tanks. This was one of them. It didn't come with glass top, so I had to have some made by a glass company. And I actually like it because you just slide them on and off. Here they are. They're a perfect fit. And I just put those sticky hooks you can get anywhere, like Walmart, on there. And once I feed them, I'll give you a close-up. Now with the blood parrots, because of the way their mouths are shaped, one more than the other has a little bit harder of time getting food in. So I have to put a larger flake in there. And I have the North Fin cichlid flakes and kelp flakes here. I also have their, or not kelp, krill, but I also have their kelp flakes too. You'll see when I do this, you have to feed these guys. You have to grab a pinch of these, and the larger the pellet, the better, or the larger the flake, the better. You have to get a pinch like this, put it right down in the water so it goes in a glob and they can suck it in. And they know that. I do that for them so I can ensure they eat. Let's take you up. Here I got some of the black red-eye Ascaras. They were by far the most aggressive territorial angels I have, but they have chilled out over time. Of course, I got the golden ones in here. I got some marble ones in here. Angelfish are one of my favorite fish. If I take you over here, you might be able to see the Pictus cats running around down here. I call them my race cars. They just zoom like that all the time. It's a little dark because of the water sprite. And the jungle valve's grown well in here. They just run around like nuts. Here's my big pleco. Of course, when he gets up and gets all of his fins out, he looks even bigger. Thank you, Janice. Very colorful. These blood parrots, another one of my favorite fish. What great personalities they have. June's favorite too. But I love how the black skirt tetras, like here, looks just like I don't think they're zebra angels. There's a different name for them. I thought they were zebras, but they're not zebras. They're something else. There's two more angels over here hanging out. There's a marble. Don't mind the BBA in this tank. But Tommy, as you can see, all this jungle val I got off you is just doing great. So are the crypts. The crypts are growing really well that I got from you. If you can see, there's that one Mbuna right back here. He's in the back. I don't know if you can see him back there. Right there. There he is. Yeah, they are whatever you want to call them, huh? Because, Tommy, when I got those, they were labeled as zebra angels. And I had a guy come on one of my lives or videos one time and said, they're not zebras. He said, there's something else. And I looked it up. He was right. But what are you going to do? I think half the time these breeders just make these names up anyways. June, I apologize for the glare. I can do nothing about that glare because it's my door going outside to the backyard. But here's my 125-gallon Oscar tank. This is June's favorite fish, only Oscars. And they are hungry. And their favorite thing to eat is the omega-1 freeze-dried shrimps. But I also have some frozen foods I like to give them sometimes. They'll come out of the water for these things. And I apologize for that glare. Holy crap, did you see all that water come out? Did you see all that water splash out? I just keep telling my wife anytime they put water on the floor like that, it just cleans the floor. I hope that you guys saw that water come flying out. And I have to put a lot of in because Milo there, the orange and black one, will eat them all. The albino is a little bit more passive. See how he takes his time? So I got to make sure he eats. I really hope all that water that comes splashing out, you guys was able to see that. That was a ton. So next I'm going to take you over to my South American tank. It's a 75-gallon tank with a Jack Dempsey in it. So he's the only fish in there now. So yeah, it's a South American tank. And there is another Snow King Pleco in here. I'll show you them up close and then we'll feed them. And he loves the freeze-dried shrimp too. Tigers and reds are much bigger than any other Oscar barf. Okay, it's June. Thank you for sharing that. Here's my Jack Dempsey. I think these guys are slowly becoming friends because they hang out together now. Oh, I spooked him there, but he's got beautiful color. When he knows I'm about to feed him, don't worry, he'll be right up there. Probably hear him smacking that water surface too. He's looking at the camera. He's chewing his food. But that pleco right there has a lot of attitude. He has sucked on a few of my fish, so I had to put him in this tank by himself, and I had to get a fish in there that could put him in his place that had equal attitude, and that was that Dempsey. When I was looking for that Dempsey, I went to the local fish store, and he was in there running off fish 3 times his size. I said, that's the one I want. I put him in there, and it created a great balance. They don't bug each other. They know their place, and I have peace because of it. And these are the things you got to do when you're keeping fish. You got to find that balance sometimes. If you have an aggressive or troublesome fish, you don't necessarily need to get rid of them. Try some things first. When you buy these fish, you have a commitment, much same as you, dogs, birds, or whatever you keep, reptiles. If you have one issue with them, don't jump right to getting rid of them, taking them back, selling them, because 9 times out of 10, the people that you're giving them to, unless they're equipped to handle it, are going to have the same problem. And that's not a life for these animals. So I tried different things, and it took a few tries, but I found a balance. And that goes hand in hand with also having spare tanks on hand if you're going to keep aggressive fish. So, as you can see, I got a beautiful fish that lives in harmony with a nice big pleco. Dixon says that's why I prefer to buy baby fish. Yeah, and that's what I did with my Oscars. They grew up together as babies. Now, he's still crabby and messes with the other fish, but hey, they get along. The next tank is the Mbuna tank beside it. We've already done that. We've already went around the room and fed all the tanks. But we have two more 10-gallon tanks you haven't seen. One has a female beta in it, and the other one has 2 long-fin serpent tetras. I'll take you down there and we'll feed them as well. Let's start with the female beta. This female beta, I had to separate from the serpent tetras because the longfin serpent tetra looks a lot like betas, and I was having issues with aggression and fighting, so I separated them in these 2 10-gallons. I built them into underneath my 125-gallon Oscar tank. And as you can see again, Tommy, I've got your jungle valve growing in here, and it's doing real well. So here she is over here. I also like to keep this mirror to let her flare up because it's good for their health to do, and she will do it too. I'll put that up there and she'll flare up. Hard to see. She's coming over. But let's go ahead and give her some food. Since I put her in this tank by herself, she is really gained a lot more color and size. Prior to that, again, she and it was actually a rescue in the community as well. People were moving, needed to get rid of her, and she's doing real well in this aquarium, and she's happy to be by herself. I just do the mirror every once in a while and feed her high quality foods. She absolutely loves the jungle valve. She'll rest on it, swim through it. And the only thing filtering in this tank is a sponge filter. I do need to do a little bit of cleaning. I'm getting quite the buildup of mold at the bottom, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't have any issues with nitrates in this tank, and I do have a heater in it to keep it warm. Right now it's sitting at about 78 degrees. But as you can see, she just loves to play into that jungle valve. I will get caught back up on comments once I'm done feeding this last tank. That might take some time, but I will get back to you guys. But you can see she's just got some good size on her. She's healthy, and she just loves her having her own tank. Alright, let's check out the longfin serpent tetras. At the store, they're called Longfin reds, whatever you want to call them. There's a million names for each fish. So I call them the longfin serpate tetras. This tank's filthy. But again, Tommy, your crypts are in this tank, 2 of them. And there's some spiralis vow in here as well. You can see them swimming around. There's that one. There's 2 of them in there. Let's go ahead and give them some extreme nano. Another tank I've got to get cleaned out. I've tried 2 or 3 times to get this tank looking a little bit more pristine, and it just doesn't work. But what a pretty fish. But you can see why the betas will confuse them for one of themselves. Yeah, I agree, Tommy. I apologize. I would have much rather went live on my phone, and I think I'll do that next time I do a vertical stream because the camera is much better on it. But I'll let you watch these guys for a minute or 2. Tell you a story about them serpate tetras. Well, like I was saying, the tank's dirty. As you can see, it's pretty filthy. Even with this old camera on this iPad, you can see that it's kind of a dirty tank. But anyways, one of my fixes was to put a larger filter on it. I had a spare Aqualine. I think it was a Whisper 20 or something like that, 29, whatever they are. I put it on that tank in addition to the little Tetra filter that's on there to help clean up and keep it clean. Well, that filter had too much flow, and it was stressing the one out, and I thought it was going to die. It was just laying on the ground, so I unplugged the filter instantly. After about a few days of going back to normal, as you can see, it bounced back and was fine. You've got to be very careful with flow with fish like betas and them serpate tetras. They don't swim the best, and they have all that surface area on their fins to catch flow, and it just blows them around the tank. Well, it was stressing that one out to the point I think it was going to die, but I was able to mitigate that before anything happened. Let's get caught back up on comments. I know that Laura has a stop sign for me back there. All right. Talisa says, super cool tank. I love your tanks. Well, I appreciate the kind words, Talisa. I know that you guys were having some conversation. You can end on some, but leave 3 to 5 nodes on each and make sure they have enough root. They will branch off into a bush that way. Yeah. If you're talking about the valve, that's what I do. I just split them off and transplant. Ludwiga, Bacopas, Rotellas is a stem with nodes, knuckles. You're a golden pony boy. It will take some time, though. You're ultimately waiting for new growth from the nodes. Robert Steiger, come in. Good to see you, Robert. Jenna says Jesse looks like he's playing peekaboo with the screen. Excuse me. Peekaboo. Yeah, Dixon, I like those black angels too, and they do have the red eyes. But to be honest with you, I don't think I've met an angelfish that I didn't like. Ross Baltimore, if you don't know him, he was in the chat earlier. He has some amazing angelfish, and he's a really good breeder. If you don't know Ross Baltimore, definitely check him out and sub to his channel. He's a good dude. He knows his stuff. He's doing a good job over there. But him and Adele, collaboration of Curiosities, have a platinum angelfish, and their fins look blue under their lighting, and man, are those fish amazing. Thank you, Janice. The blood parrots are striking too. Yeah, I love their deep orange color. And then blood parrots are fun. Anytime I have my arm in their tank, they'll go after my arm and hit it. Get out of my tank. What are you doing? I have a short out there. You guys probably should have seen that when it got a lot of views, where they was attacking the python while I was in there. They got a lot of attitude, but when they come up to you, it just feels like a rubber hitting your arm. They can't hurt you. But what a fun fish. What a great personality. They are whatever you want to call them. You think fish store owners haven't changed the name of fish just to appeal to the... Exactly, Tommy. Exactly. It's jungling. Heck yeah, yeah. Jungle Val, the Crips are doing fantastic. Oscars were my very first fish, but I never had a big enough tank to keep them for very long. Yeah, Dixon, I find a 125-gallon tank. A 125-gallon tank is probably my favorite tank, just because it's big enough that it looks really good. It leaves you room for enough options. I have 2 Oscars in that tank. I've seen people online doing more than that. I think Prime Time or Metalheads has an arowana in a 125-gallon tank, but he is planning to move that to his big pool pond. But there's a lot of people that have, and with these 125s, they think they get these big aquariums and they've got something, which I'm not downplaying a 125. Like I said, it's one of my favorite footprints, and you have a lot of options. But you can't stuff 8 Oscars in there and catfish. That's too much for that tank. June is an Oscar expert, and she has 300, 400 plus gallon tanks. You want to keep big fish, you need a big tank. The albino doesn't see as good as the red. June, I've noticed that lately. And is that just a common trait in the albino Oscars? Because I've noticed, this has just started not long ago, where he does that. It takes some time to see. That was never the case up until maybe a month or so ago. Only 115, she says. Only 115 Oscars. I may know plants, but no one knows more about Oscars than June. The experience trumps education every time. Yep. See Gabriel pop back in. Yeah, baby fish. Start them off small. The long-fed red Oscar shadows is my favorite fish. The bumblebees are my favorite Oscar look. The bumblebee Mbuna that I have is one of my favorite Mbunas, June. I do not have geos, if you're talking to me. I would love I'd love to have a couple of Geophagus svenis or svenis, however you say it. They're a beautiful fish. Jungle fowl, yeah, I love it. It grows really good in all my tanks. I got, well, I think 1 or 2 bunches from you, Tommy. I think it was like that, and they've been taken off, and I've been able to split them off and put them in all my tanks. My favorite plant. Thank you, Tommy. Yeah, and I ain't even doing anything special. Mostly it's the fish doing the work, and I do dose Thrive and Vitachem, though. That's got to help. Kara says, once I almost gave into temptation and brought home a bonded pair of Oscars from a now closed local fish store. I wanted them so bad, but my biggest tank's 75 gallons and I already had cherry barbs and neon rainbows. Yeah, you made a good choice there, Kara. They recommend you can keep a 75, one Oscar and a 75 gallon tank. To me, I have always disagreed with that. I think a 75 gallon tank is too small for even one Oscar. And the reason why they say you can get away with that is because Oscars really don't, they're chill. They just mosey around the tanks. They're chilled out. So if you have one, I get that mentality. But in my experience with them, and June can probably back me up on this, these things will just jet off out of nowhere. Mine do it a lot. Boom! Just fly into the side of the glass or fly into something because he got spooked. Could you imagine that size of an Oscar freaking out in a 75 gallon tank with 4 foot of space to go left and right? It's not big enough for him in this 6 foot tank when he does that. But they're happy most of the time and he is chill most of the time. But when they freak out like that, hitting lids, hitting power heads, running into crap. Now, in my opinion, I think a 75 gallon tank is too small for even one Oscar. Yeah, she did have lunch waiting for the Oscars. Serpes, yeah, tell me, I like them Serpe Tetras, and they've been doing healthy in there, man. I don't really do a lot in that tank. I just let them chill out. Don't do a lot of water changes. The nitrates stay low, and they're just happy, having a good time in there, as long as I don't blow them around with too much flow. Kara says she spent 3 days thinking about moving the little fish to the other tanks and then felt bad about downsizing the tank. I think you made the right decision there, Kara. Yeah, you know what, Janice? I don't know if Tommy, I don't think Tommy still sells plants, but I think he would. But Tommy sells good plants. They arrive good, and they're a lot cheaper than Aquarium Co-op. Appreciate the extra stop sign, Janice. The mosses in the bow did not make it, but my crinium, Amazon, swords, and crypts are doing well. Okay, cool, Dixon. So angels are Dixon's weak spot. We would never be able to deal with a larger than 55 gallon. I had to ask my neighbor to help get it in the house. It's only since my husband's dementia got so bad that I hadn't been able to set up a tank. I got you, Dixon. And I am at the bottom of the chat. Well, let me know what you thought about the lap of the fish room. I do have some maintenance to do, some cleaning up to do, some algae to scrape, but it is coming up on my monthly maintenance and water changes. June says that's how I got left. He knocked himself out. He thought he was dead and he came. I remember you talking about that, June. Tommy is Silver Creek Wildlife, Janice. For a little short jaunt there, he was selling plants, and that's when I bought crypts and bows off of him. And the price was fantastic. They showed up in great shape, and as you can see, they've done nothing but take off since I got them. Tommy, I don't know if you still are really into selling plants. I know you did say that you would. If you have it, he'll sell it type of thing, but you can't beat the price for what you get. Aquarium Co-op is a legit business online, and of course he just, I don't know, I don't like to downplay anybody, but I also don't have a filter, so I think he asks way too much for plants. Cool, Dixon, you're welcome. I appreciate, I'm glad you like that. I got you, Janice. June is under you there. She's only Oscars, and Silver Creek Wildlife is Tommy. I leave a light on for fish. June, yes, and since you told me that, because you remember I was telling you we'd freak out and just run into crap. Since you told me that, I have put it's one of them fluval spotlights you can buy that's made to go in the aquarium. I use it to light up my saline aquatic sign on the wall. That casts enough light to give him a night like a night light at night now. So and it has reduced his freakouts. He still does it at times, but it's not as bad. So thank you for sharing that trick with me because it has worked. I remember when co-op was extremely fair on plant prices, not anymore. You're right, Big Steve, and that's with everything. And I get inflation and everything rolls downhill. I get it. But like, let's take his multi-test strips for example. It's like $10 for 200 strips. Decent price, right? But after you have to pay the only shipping option he gives you, you're at 20 some dollars for 200 test strips. The only reason that makes that worth it is I put a short out on this, take a rotary cutting tool, and cut them in half. I didn't think about that trick till Patty's Aquatics told me about it, but he was using scissors. That takes way too long. Take a fabric rotary cutting tool, cut them strips in half. Now you're getting 400 strips for that money, which that makes it worth it while. That's the only way I do that, to buy off of him. I'm going to leave you guys with the Mbunas for a little bit. I need to get me some more coffee. Don't go anywhere. Also, while I'm getting coffee, leave me with some suggestions of what you would like to see on an upcoming video or on an upcoming live. Discussions, things to talk about, anything you can think of. Leave it in the chat. Laura's giving me a stop sign and I'll come right back and read it. So let me know what you'd like to see for content. All right, sorry about that. Let's get caught up here on the chat. See, Monster Fish Gal made it in. Good to see ya. Mayhem Miracles here. Thank you, Mayhem. Appreciate that. If anybody's on TikTok, you know that you can go on there and get on grow groups. Well, Mayhem and Miracles does something similar to that for YouTube. if you're needing watch time hours, if you're needing support, subscribers, to meet people, to get networking, she's the one to go to. You want to go to her channel and you want to subscribe, because what she does is just what I said. She's going to help support, and that's what she does. She'll literally sit down and watch hours of your content, and she does this for everybody. This is what she does. She's absolutely amazing. Anybody that can sit down and take the time to do that to help somebody is wonderful and speaks volumes. So shout out to Mayhem Miracles again. Anytime she comes in here, I shout her out, because what she does, I feel, is absolutely amazing. So subscribe to her channel, and if you need help, you want to meet more people, you want to network, you want to broaden your channel's audience, you make more friends, and they help support each other. So if you want to help boost your channel, definitely go check her out. I stopped watching co-op. I was buying everything. Corey is good at selling. Corey is good at selling, June, and I like his style fish keeping. He's knowledgeable. He doesn't get caught up in drama, and he makes a good product. He tests his products. He's very good at what he does. I have a lot of respect for him, the way he runs his business. Absolutely, and you know, we can complain about cost all we want, but crap rolls downhill. The government made everything inflated. We're all low on money. We're all working to keep our heads above water. So the businesses follow in suit. I know Corey would lower prices if he could, but he can't, because he's in the business to make money. And if he can't do that, what's the sense of having a business? So he's got to raise his prices. So I get that, but you know, there's so many things that you can get by doing it DIY or cheaper nowadays. It just doesn't make sense to go spend $20 for plants when you can find somebody that's just doing this local, like Tommy, and there's a lot of them out there. They can give you just as good plants, and he's not trying to run you under the bus over it. But still, he has to make a little profit too, but he's doing it to make a little bit of profit, not major profit. Thanks for sharing, Mayhem. Yeah, and another one that's become a big salesman is Caveman Aquatics. Man, I like him. He's a cool dude, but that's all he seems to do now is sell and promote products. I don't even know if I think he doesn't fish keep anymore. He keeps products. He don't keep fish. Go back to being a car salesman. Too much business. Yep. Infomercial. Yeah, and and when I made my top 6 fish keeping video, rating them, I mentioned that in there. You can talk about your business on your YouTube channel. It's your channel to do what you want, and I understand promoting your business. But why do we gotta do that on the live stream? The live stream is to meet your audience, meet the people who support you. That's why we're there. Do that on your videos. Do that on your shorts. If you're going to be one-on-one with the people that support you, that gave you those millions of subscribers, just keep it off the live stream. Keep that just for the people. Answer questions. Talk to them. If I was as big as him, I would have a team of people every time I did a live stream to keep up on chat, so I could get as many questions answered as possible, and I would keep the business out of it. They already know you. You've already established your business. They know your products. Let it speak for itself. When you're on your live stream, focus on the people that support you. Maybe do some nice giveaways. You don't have to do a giveaway if you don't want to. It's not expected. But I like to give back to the people who support me by giving some quality things back to them. Yeah, but you know what? KG Tropicals and Benno Chart, as far as the biggest channel goes, are my favorite 2 to watch. I love John's humor, and I like Lisa. She's cool too, and I like his his personality. He's like me. He's right out there to say what's on his mind. He doesn't buffer or hide truths and things like that. I call him Mr. Krabs. So if you see me say that, I'm referring to the salesman on YouTube, and I absolutely agree, Jesse. It's like a broken record when it's a sales live. Yes. And don't focus on negative comments. Right. So, Having said that, guys, it is 11 o'clock. I've been on for over 2 hours. I do have to get off and take care of things. This has been an awesome live. There's been a fantastic interaction here. I've really enjoyed talking with you guys. Anybody that maybe comes to this live a little bit after and gets on the comment section, give me some suggestions of something like you'd like to see as far as content, or my videos go, my shorts go, my lives go. I'm always going to find something to put out there, but I also like to hear back from you guys. So anything you'd like to see, hear, talk about, focus on, let me know. So I'm going to jump off. It's been great. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. I certainly appreciate everybody's time and support. Thank you for helping me get up to over 10,000 subscribers. It's absolutely amazing. Remember, the bigger this channel gets, the better the giveaways can get, and the more often the giveaways can happen. So share, like, get it out there. Talk about it. Talk about Saline Aquatics, because I want to give away some valuable things such as canister filters, hang-in-the-back filters, medicines, Prime, Seachem, stuff that costs money, not little sample packets of food. So help me get out there, help me get them watch time hours up. I'm less than 1,000 watch hours away from monetization. So the sooner we get there, the bigger we get, the better for everybody. I promise that I'm the guy that's going to support back with valuable stuff. That's my commercial. I will check out Supreme Gecko, Laura. Thanks. Get some ideas for that. See you, June. Thank you. Thanks you, Dixon. Thanks to everybody that came in. I'm jumping off. Talk to you guys later. How do you end this? I don't even know how to end it. Here you go. Yes.